if you're in a rut right now with your coaching business, you're working hard, you're posting content, you're having conversations, you're speaking to people on sales calls, you're doing all of these, hard things, but for one reason or another, you're just not getting any fitness clients coming in or coaching clients coming in general, stick around, because in the next 5 to 6 minutes, I'm going to break down some of the biggest issues I see coaches making that are stopping them from booking calls, from closing clients, how to solve it after selling over $2.5 million in coaching programs, building a business, doing £250,000 a year. I'm going to show you all of this. I'm going to break down some of the biggest issues I see and how you can solve it. One of the first biggest issues that I see coaches make is they get in their own head too much, right? Ultimately, business is very much a mindset game. It's very much a sports game, right? I don't know what kind of people watch this video. I don't know if you like sports, football in general, all of these stuff, but I think about it a lot like a football or like a sports, right? It's very much a mindset kind of sport. It's very much, you have to stay bulletproof, you have to stay resilient, and you have to have your energy super high, and you have to have your self-belief super high, right? If you are selling a fitness coaching program and you've gone a month without closing clients, or you've gone, and I remember this, when I was 17, I was selling my fitness coaching program, right? Having lots of calls, and you go on 5 calls that don't close, back to back. You have 6 sales calls booked for the day, right? You have the first 5, 3 didn't, right? 1 didn't show, 3 did show, but it didn't close. 1 was a very rude guy. And in the 6th call, you have to find a way to reset your energy. You have to find a way to not let yourself get in your own head where that energy leaks into everything else you do. You cannot let your energy leak. You cannot let your energy drop, because the minute your energy drops, your content suffers. Your ability to do the work in terms of having really good conversations suffers. Your ability to move the needle forward and the fact things that need to be done suffers. And this is a hard pill to swallow, but when you're starting out, it's very much a mindset, and it's very much a contact game, right? You have to be able to keep showing up. You have to be able to reset your energy and keep having that super high belief that this is going to work out and it's going to pay off, right? One of the easiest reframes you can make for this, and I'm going to take a guess right here. I'm going to take a guess that if you've had a slow month, if you're not doing as well as you would like to be doing right now, one of the worst things you can do is look around social media, look around how other coaches are doing, how well they might be doing, or how many clients they're going to be signing up. Because here's the truth: no one on social media, no one in their right mind is going to be showing up on social media posting how miserable they are, how depressed they are, how stressed they are, how many lack of clients they're getting. Everyone's going to be posting their highlight reels. Everyone's going to be saying how busy they are, how amazing their clients are doing. And if you get stuck into this rabbit hole where you're looking at other people, you're looking at how badly they're doing, and you compare yourself and you look at how badly you're doing, you're going to start feel deflated. You're going to start feel like you have no energy, you have no mood, and that affects everything else. And people can pick up on that. They're going to sign up with someone else, right? So, find a way to stay very bulletproof to your big vision, to your big mission, and try and find a way to reset your energy after these unsuccessful calls, and also really look at refining what you look at as a failure, right? Because if you're starting out, if you're taking these steps, these calls and not converting, one of the best things you can do is just realize that every no you take is going to lead you closer to getting a client, right? The way to get a coaching client for your offer when you're starting out from zero might mean that you have to get 5 no's first. It might mean you have to get 10 no's first, or 100 no's, right? In the DMs, on sales calls, and different variations, right? And if it means you have to go through that pain, and you have to go through this pain, which is it really a pain for someone to say, no, I don't want to book a call on a DM? I don't think so. I've worked very manually hard jobs, right? I've worked at McDonald's. I've worked, when I was younger, I worked at McDonald's. I worked in my local gym, cleaning treadmills and doing all of this. This is a hard job, right? Sales is a hard job, in person, being rejected and calling people and people not signing up. But to get someone to tell you no on a sales call, to post the content and label it as a flop, to me, it's not really a failure. It's just part of the journey to get closer to getting a yes, right? So if you've had a slow month, if you've had things not moving forward to where you want them to be, I would genuinely encourage yourself to actually audit your energy, audit your mindset right now, and look at, were you doing everything you could be doing in terms of moving things forward, right? And if you haven't, that's probably part of the issue as to why things are slow, why things are not moving forward as fast, because if you have this low energy, if you have this leak in your energy and things aren't going as well, you're going to show that on your stories, you're going to show that in your content, you're going to show this all of these different places. And because people see it, people can tell it, even if you're not telling them that, they're going to pick up on your energy, they're going to pick up on your tone, they're going to pick up on your confidence or lack of confidence. And then because of that, they're not going to sign up, and they're just going to, not feel confident in terms of moving forward. Selling coaching online, you have to get really good, and you have to become quite obsessive with seeing how you're confident, how your content is creating confidence in terms of the outcome that you're helping people achieve. If you audit your profile, are you creating that confidence? Are you creating that clarity, that conviction that your program is going to help people move forward and solve their big pain that they have right now, the big problems they have? Think about that. Those 3 C's: confidence, clarity, conviction. That's what most personal brands, most very hyper-specific personal brands have in common. They create these 3 things, confidence, clarity, conviction. Everyone in the business space knows Alex Hormozi by now. If you look at his tonality, if you look at his content, it's super confident. The reason people are super confident in him is because he's an expert that has the track record of saying what he's done, right? He's built these huge businesses. He's done really well. People get that confidence by seeing his track record, by seeing the way he gives content that's super valuable to people. He makes it super clear because the clarity is there. The business advice he gives, the strategy, everything is super clear. It's dumbed down to a point where even a 7-year-old can understand, and that creates clarity, right? And then the last thing is conviction. You can get the conviction by seeing the track record, seeing what he's done, and by picking up from his energy, from his tonality, from his kind of brand and business, right? Look at your business right now. Is it creating that clarity? And a clarity in terms of your content can be just, is it super clear the problem that you're helping people overcome? We have a lot of fitness coaches in our program, probably hundreds, right? One of the big hundreds of coaches have gone for our program rather, but we've one of the big things I see is sometimes one of the issues, sometimes new coaches struggle is because they're trying to do too many different things with their content. They're trying to talk about mindset, they're trying to talk about their religious beliefs, they're trying to talk about their personal values, all of these different things. And it's good to talk about in terms of having the personal aspect there. But if you're trying to help people with relationships, if you're trying to help people with discipline, with motivation, with faith, all of these different things, you package it up into a coaching program, people are going to get confused, and they're just going to have this thing of am I really going to get my big problem solved? Probably not. I have this specific problem. I'm going to have to find one specific expert that can help me with one problem and get me moving forward, right? That's the same with everything. If it's not creating that clarity, it's not going to move things forward, And if you have that in place, being confident with what you're talking about, with your content, with your offer, becomes much easier, and it gets you moving forward with everything else exponentially easier. If you struggle with the confidence, if you struggle with the conviction right now, one of the best things you can do with your sales calls, with your content, go back through your track record, go back through the client calls, the client testimonials, the client interviews, the client wins, the before and after, all of these things that you've helped people achieve, and watch that bring your energy, your mood, your kind of conviction, your confidence much higher, so you can then go forward rather than kind of still stay stuck. This video here today has been more tactical, more mindset, as opposed to, it's been more of a mindset issue and more of a kind of mindset talk as opposed to super tactical stuff. We've touched a little bit on tactical stuff in terms of having the confidence, the conviction and clarity. But if you really focus on solving that, if you really focus on forcing your energy to come up with your content, with your message, everything becomes a lot easier. But one of the biggest reasons coaches get stuck in a rut is because they let their energy drop because of one bad lead, one bad call, one content that's flopped, and then everything else leaks into it, and that affects, you know, the rest of their day, the rest of their week, the rest of everything else they do, right? The easiest solve is to reset yourself, focus on the positive, focus on the stuff that you can move forward, and be bulletproof as much as possible. I know it's easier said than done, but the more you can focus on that, the easier it becomes to grow, to succeed, and win online with your business. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe. If you want more of my one-to-one help getting unstuck and moving forward, as always, there'll be a link down below so you can apply to work with me to help you grow your coaching business. And if you want to see more videos like this, very raw, no cuts, no stops, no edits, then make sure to look at the link. Make sure to hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.